Greetings, students, and welcome back to stream. Welcome back after our week-long break. It's been a nice little distraction. Woo, I tell you, man, the last couple of months have been some of the busiest in my life, and I'm so glad that I'm past that 2 months, I guess 3 month, actually, now that I think about it, 3 month stretch, where I had like, what, 3 weddings to go to? Everyone decided to get married at the same time. Everyone wanted a fall wedding. My God. But now we are past all that. It is time to return to streaming as normal and finally get some good work done on YouTube, on Unreal, and everywhere else we decide to put my face. How are you guys all doing? How was your week? That's good to hear. I hear the good vibes coming from you. It's good vibes all around, I'd say. As such, I'm going to go with a pretty chill, lo-fi music today. Raining in Lo-Fi City. I always love a good raining background. Oh, it's so relaxing, so calming. Today's lesson, we will be working on RACER as per usual. And we will be working on specifically toning in the speed mechanics. Mostly on the boost side, because we managed to get most of the speed mechanics down pat. I'm actually really happy with where that ended up. Let me just go ahead and silence my phone here. Here we go. Woo! And then so let's just get right to it, shall we? So I have built a couple of things since I last streamed this, because I was getting frustrated with how hard it was to determine how fast the car felt, so I built kind of like a good old visual metric with these posts here. And these basically go on to infinity. And the idea is using this to determine how fast am I going, how fast does it feel like I'm going, and then the actual speed metric there will determine the speed I'm actually going. So what should be happening is I've determined that 200 miles per hour at this current speed should be a good ceiling for normal speed. So now all we have to figure out is how to dial it in just right so that the acceleration to 200 is good, that the cap is indeed 200 miles per hour, and that it doesn't feel like a struggle to get to 200 once you get to those upper speed limits. And if I hold down at 200, will I ever go over it to 201? About to go through the skybox. Yep, there we go. And thankfully, it seems like my cap is indeed working. We're holding at 200 miles of power. There should be a power up. Yes, that will be the next. That's the boost mechanic, right? That's the next step. Once we get the speed mechanic solidified, which it just about is, then the goal becomes, okay, now we have to go beyond that cap with the boost, which I have a temporary measure. Damn, this camera. I have a temporary measure where if I hold down the shift or mouse button, it'll just accelerate. We'll use the same speed cap system we had for that. We just want to make sure that the speed system is solidified before we do any of that. I'd say they're going pretty good, Blizzard. Yeah, let me show you how it feels to accelerate. So there are like 5 things I'm keeping track of. How fast do you get off of a starting 0? How fast do you get to 100? How fast can you get to 200? And how fast can you get from 200 to 0 once you stop? And then once you hit that, does it ever go over 200? Does it actually cap out at 200? And that's what I've been playing with for the last 2 weeks. So first, acceleration. I feel like that's a pretty solid acceleration. It's pretty fast, but I also want it to be a fast-feeling racing game, and I don't want it to feel like you're dragging. You know, we're going for arcade physics. We got to 100 in like under 5 seconds flat, which might be a little fast, but the 200 is what I really like, because once you hit that top speed, it really slows down to get up to 200, and that's what I want. I want it to be difficult to get up to that max cap, but not impossible. And there it is, I hit 200. So I'm going to use the timer in the upper right to determine how fast it takes us to get to both of those mechanics. Okay. So I'm going to get started on 15 seconds. And go. Time for 100 miles is 5 seconds. Yeah, it takes 5 seconds to get to 100 miles an hour. Which, judging by the visual metric I created here, it feels pretty solid. And then to get to 200, our current max, it takes about... I think it's going to take about 30 seconds total. Let's see. Just hit 30 seconds. 50. So it took about 35 seconds to reach max. Okay. Should we be trying to avoid crashing things to get ahead in this? Yes. So obviously, every time you crash into something, you bump against the wall, you're losing speed, and it's getting harder to reach that max cap, right? It's kind of like, I guess it's like any racing game, really. You know, you don't want to be able to reach max in like 5 seconds. That's just not going to work. It takes an extended period of time to reach that max. And now I'm just trying to figure out whether 35 seconds is a good zone for that, and if 5 seconds is too fast to get to like 100 miles per hour. You know, because the getting off the line, it's really fast, which is both a good thing and a bad thing. Players are awarded for not letting go of W. Yes, exactly. The better they play, the more speed they get. Right? That's a very good, kind of universally understood mechanic. Avoid bumping into things. Avoid turning as much as possible just to maximize that speed. It's a very easy to understand metric. Now we just have to figure out, you know, what is acceleration. So instead of looking at the speed this time, let's see how the speed itself feels. Let's focus on the car. And go. Honestly, that feels great. That feels like a very natural acceleration. And the acceleration slows down as you get faster, which is also pretty natural. So, yes, handling. That is the other test. So, well, that is where this the circular track comes in. So let's go ahead and try that sucker. So this is a pretty average size track, I'd say. I'd say this is pretty solid. A good 8 cars could race on this. Let's see how we handle at that speed. There's 100. 150. About 150, it gets a little difficult to make the turn, but it's still pretty easy. And maintaining speed going around these corners is not that hard at that speed, but once you really get going, hit 175, 180 as I hit this turn. I have to really bank in order to make this turn, but it's still very manageable. Sharp turns and the floatiness of the car really helps with sharp turns, which is nice. We still need to build a better obstacle course though to really test it out, you know. So let's ride on the outside and see how much precision I've got. So let's see how long I can stay on this outside track without hitting the edge. Oh, oh, come on. Oh, there's a penalty. Okay, so yeah, it's not impossible. It still feels pretty nice. And with practice, obviously, you could get pretty good at it. And going on the inside track, probably not recommended because you'd fly right off. Yeah, like right there. Wouldn't keep me on even if I wanted to. Ooh, and that's where the tethering kind of mechanic comes in. So, do you think you are losing too much speed when you are turning? Well, let's see. I'm at 180. Well, I lost about... I lost about 30, 50 miles per hour by this metric, so that would be... That's at least a third of my speed when I'm turning. And this is a pretty reasonable turn. So if I'm losing a third of my speed when turning... And there's no feasible way for me to hit 200 on this track without being practically perfect. Unless I use a boost. I want to try for a very sharp turn. Nope. I don't know. I'm still staying above the hundreds, so to speak. Because if I do the turn correctly, I'm only losing about an eighth of my speed, which is not too bad. So I really would need more tracks to know. But so far, I think that's an acceptable speed loss. So I don't know what a good metric for determining that would be. I would say that if you're barely turning, you should be kind of maintaining the same speed you're at, maybe a bit under. If you're going to like 20 to 30 degree angles, you should be losing at least 25% of your speed. If you're doing a 90 degree angle or a U-turn, you should be losing at least a third to half of your speed. So that's actually pretty nice. And if you're doing like a straight up, you're turning around, I mean that you're practically coming to a dead stop. Like you're just going boom boom. Like almost a 180 degree turn. That would be like a dead stop. I don't have an example of that. But so far I'm pretty satisfied with that with that speed so far. So I'll stick with it. So now I'm just going to go ahead and move ahead to the boost mechanic. Since I'm pretty happy with that speed, I don't think it needs to be adjusted for now. So now let's look at the boost. So what we're going to do here, we're going to give ourselves extra space to hit 200, and then I'm going to hold down the boost button, which theoretically should add 100 miles per hour to our speed. Oh yeah, I have a bunch of space under here, don't I? Oh yeah, this is a good test to see if backwards is the same result. Okay. I clipped into the ramp. That's my fault. I forgot to test that. I forgot to test if backwards was the same result. It should be exactly the same thing. It should just stop at 200 miles an hour. Because basically you're just doing the same speed but in a backwards direction. I think I got it. Because you don't want it to be like truck roads. What was it? Truckers Racing Simulator or whatever it was called, where angry video game nerd played a game that was literally incomplete, to the point where if you raced the truck that was in the game backwards, it would accelerate infinitely. I always found that hilarious. Okay. Ooh, we got a problem here. Ooh, that is a problem. Big rig racing, that's what it was, I think. Oh my god. Shouldn't driving backwards be slower? Yes, in a realistic sense, yes. But in an arcade game, I think it's fair to say backwards racing should be exactly the same as forward racing. It would just be harder to see where you're going. So, but yes, the exact, you know the game I'm talking about. That's hilarious. Woo! So, yeah, the idea of driving backwards shouldn't be a penalty. If you want to do it, why the hell not, right? There should be no penalty to that. But I just discovered something. Didn't realize this would be a thing. I was going backwards 200 miles per hour. Then I pressed forward, and I was not slowing down. I then released forward, and then I slowed down really fast. I'm going to have to fix that. Why would that be happening, though? Anyway, I'm going to use this opportunity to get the 200 miles per hour, and then we're going to do the boost and see how far that goes. Because the boost should also be limited in how far I go. And it's easier to know what its cap is when you're going from max, so I'll just go ahead and do that. Oh, excuse me. And then once we get that working, we can then start adding artificial boost stuff, like boost pads or boost charges, and just, boom, accelerate the car. Alright, and boosting. I mean, it is going faster. But it's not capping. Okay. So that means that the boost mechanic is not capped. It's not accelerating fast enough either. Alright, so let's determine this. We can turn off this print string. We don't need this anymore. So basically we want to do this, but for the boost. Basically exactly the same mechanic. In Trackmania, they have a trade-off for backwards driving. It's a decent bit slower, but like 100% better handling. Okay. That's an interesting feature I might want to consider. Driving slower is, or driving backwards is slower, but better handling. I wonder what would be more fun for people, right? If you chose to drive backwards, what should be the limitation to it? Should it just be now you have to do everything in reverse but same speed, or the Trackmania method, or it's just harder in general? I don't know. I think I'll default to this for now. I'll revisit that at a later time. But, yeah, and that's the thing. It's a time attack game. So speed is always the name of the game, right? So basically, why add a backwards speed at all? You know, every feature should have its place in the game, even backwards racing. Even if it's just for fun, for giggles, it should still be there, right? And if you limit its speed in a game like this, then you can't use it and still be part of the race. Yeah, I'll leave it as that for now, but we'll revisit that later. Okay, so we have boost acceleration, which is based on car speed, just like we did for forward speed, but we have a hard cap here. So why is it different? Oh, I see. Oh, I've got to clamp it. That's what I got to do. I've got to clamp the value that comes out of this. That is what will allow me to put a ceiling on it. So it can't go below 0, and it can't go above 300,000. Okay, but as we noticed, the boost was not very powerful. It should be a lot more powerful than that. Just had a thought about something. Mario Kart style choices, but instead of the same car, different states. You have different cars that are better at certain things, like a drifting car or a car that flat doesn't have brakes, etc. Ooh, interesting. Okay, that is something I have been toying with the idea with. How am I going to do different cars in this game? Because obviously you could do the different skins. You could do the Rocket League method, which is basically, they all are basically the same car, they just have different hitboxes. You could do the Mario Kart method, where everything has a different advantage, be it speed, drifting, acceleration, same with the wheels. I think customization is the way to go, right? Because that is something for players to work towards. That is something to add to the game's, what's the word? A skill ceiling? It's mastering the different mechanics. And for the Royale aspect, that could be something that they earn, quote unquote, throughout the game. You know, like was your racing, you unlock better wheels or better skins. I don't know. That could be just something we throw into the Royale. Replayability. That's true. Yeah. Adds even more replayability. That's a good idea. That's even better than the idea I had, which is like everything's just the same car, just looks the same. Try a car that spins out most of the time. We'll call it the Beyblade. I would totally do cars like that are just impossible to control just for the lols. And people would love those cars. Come on. You create a car that is impossible and just spins forever, you will have dozens, if not hundreds of people doing videos of winning race with the impossible car. See, yeah, that's just fun. That's just plain fun. Okay. So clearly the boost is not high enough. So we've got to make it higher. So let's go to 25 for a higher acceleration. But that means we're also going to have to lower the cap. Because this is something you have to kind of wiggle into to figure out how it'll work. So this will just be a trial and error. Maybe. Oh, you know what I should do? I should just not accelerate and just boost. Oh. I forgot. Opposite direction. I don't need to increase it. I need to decrease it. Because this is what's slowing down the car. My bad. Let's try that again. So we were at 12 before. So I guess we're at 5 now. So let's do that. Oh, and it's multiplied by the car speed. Oh, no. I just realized that's a problem. It can't be based off of car speed. Because the boost has to be able to activate no matter what speed the car is going. Okay, so I need another number for it to be based on. A tank style car just runs over every other car. Ah, that would be great. I'm gonna start writing these ideas down, dude. But it cannot be pushed by other cars. Hell yeah. Right. Race car ideas. We can't run out of good ideas for this, right? This is the fun part, which we will get to eventually. Gotta write them down while we have them. A two-wheeled car? Oh yeah, like I had planned on implementing like motorcycles at some point. You know, all racing vehicles. I even had an idea that one day we just have like people running really fast. I thought that would be a hilarious addition one day. You know, horses. Yeah, exactly. See, because that's something I think is lacking from a lot of racing cars these days. Racing games these days is they don't have fun with it, right? They're all super serious and like, oh yeah, this is a game about fun and stuff. It's also competitive and, you know, yeah, but what if you're racing the horse? Like, that'd be freaking cool. That'd be hilarious. Come on. Old cars turn into horses. Exactly. Tab style. Oh, googly-eyed horses. Hell yeah. Oh, I should put googly eyes on cars. Just as a aesthetic. God, too many ideas. Okay, back to it. I need to not base it off of car speed, but rather just a straight up float. Yeah, I just gotta add a number to it at any time. Car with moist critical face. Okay, probably 2 bar. I mean, we could make it for him if he asked for it, but I won't, you know, straight up make stuff of other YouTubers without permission. Though, if they play my game, then I'll make it for them, just as a thank you. Because of course I would. Why wouldn't you do that, right? Just as a thank you for them. Okay, we are going to just have a straight up float. We're gonna call this... Yeah, we're just gonna have to make a straight up boost factor. Make it a float. Compile. And we'll start with 100 thou. I mean, at this point, it kind of isn't really necessary because I wouldn't be clamping it at this point. No, but it has to be tied to car speed. Oh, no. I know what I can do. We can get car speed and then add it to boost factor. That way I can do it no matter what happens, even if I'm at 0, but I can still adjust it to cap at a certain value. So, plus, we'll put these together, and then we'll multiply it by a certain factor. I mean, multiplication's probably not needed here, but all about logic. Okay. So this is probably going to be insanely fast, but it's gotta work. Almost critical face. Make a Mr. Beast car. That'd be funny. Make one for every YouTuber or Twitch streamer that plays my game. Just watch me. So normal acceleration and boost. No boost. Oh yeah, I just realized. I made my cap at 100K, and I made my boost factor 100K. Dumb fool. Okay, let's try that again. Yeah, let's just max out our boost from the start. That's clever. Okay. At least we're getting somewhere. This is all boost right now. Okay, so clearly it's capping out around 12 miles an hour. Why is it so slow? Great question. Okay, so we're taking the car speed as per usual, and we're adding it to the boost factor, multiplying it by 5, clamping it between here, and then letting the car accelerate towards it. The closer it gets to 100K, the slower the car accelerates. So clearly the multiplication is too great, because we're starting off at 50K right off the bat. So multiplying might already be too much. So let's try not multiplying. Oh, there we go. Let's try not multiplying and doing the same thing. This should increase the acceleration factor by at least 5 times, though the cap will be an unknown. All right, and boost. Well, it's faster, but clearly not great. So we still need to increase the gap. 10K is too high. Let's make this 1K and go from there. We need to get in the ballpark. Gort. We must get Gort. Okay. And accelerate. Still painfully slow. Oh, you know what it is? It's because of the car speed. Let me print the car speed. Because that is the constantly changing number here. It might be too low. The cap might be too low. Let's increase this to 200K. Because clearly it's starting off way too close. The car speed starts at an insanely high number, so maybe I just underestimated it. Okay. Oh my god, yeah. And boost. Okay, that's at least reasonable. Still too slow, though. That's not a boost. And the reason we need to tie it to car speed is because we cannot let it get beyond 300 miles per hour. Even with boost, the car should not go faster than that unless gravity is involved. Okay, but we're getting closer now. So the difficulty will be balancing it between accelerating from not speed to accelerating from 200 miles an hour. So here the max speed was getting to around 4,000, right around there. Then that gets added to the 1,000, 5,000. How is that still... How is that still happening? Or was it 40,000? Let's raise the cap again. 300k. It's clearly too low still. Okay. We're just accelerating with the boost, just to test the boost. Okay, still too slow of a boost. It needs to get off the line a lot faster than that. So the speed of the car is hovering around 3,000. My boost factor is 8,000. So what I don't get is how the car is not accelerating any further. Because we're nowhere near the 300k cap. Oh, I'm just using the boost. I'm not actually accelerating with normal speed. This is just the boost at play. Let's see. I'm just confused as to why it's maxing out here. That doesn't make any sense. Is there a calculation I'm missing at some point? This is 300k minus whatever number I get, boost acceleration, and then boost acceleration is multiplied by my forward vector and applied to the car. It's the same thing that happens with my speed. I'm going to halve the multiplication. That should increase how fast it gets off the line, hopefully. Let's see what happens. This will be blue. Okay. Blue is already at that speed, which is expected. And boom. Still too slow off the line. That like didn't do anything. That didn't accelerate my car's acceleration at all. Oh, gnarly. I just figured out what it was. Oh yeah, your D&D story. I did read that. My God. You had quite an adventure there. Strategy of putting everything on the fighter and just... Okay, looking at these numbers, car speed isn't going over 3. The number coming out is blue. It's not going above that number at all. Almost worked, right? Isn't that the most painful part? So the car speed gets added to the boost factor, multiplied by half, and then the value gets clamped between 0 and here. It's then removed from 300k. This is weird. Okay, let's decrease this to 100. And see if that gets us what we want. The math isn't adding up. They died, but they got better. We like our cleric. I bet. Never underestimate the white mage. Okay, so the acceleration was faster? But we're still clamping down at the same spot. This math isn't making sense at all. I'm not even close to reaching the 300k cap, and yet I'm definitely capping somewhere. I wonder. Is forward speed being activated here? It shouldn't. Let's hope not. Because we're not accelerating. We're boosting. Anyway, let's just get this working. Like I said, it's a whole bunch of trial and error. Okay, that boost really wants to gun off. That's good. I raised the cap again. Huh. See, that worked. But why? I don't get it. Okay, so we're reaching 90 miles per hour on boost alone. 91. Well under 30 seconds. I still need the acceleration to be a lot higher. Because it's a boost. It's got to be near instantaneous. At least an additional 50 right off the bat. Okay, it's capping around 91. Let's start accelerating naturally and see where that gets us. Ah, see, this is what I was afraid of. The boost plus the acceleration together is breaking both metrics. They're just making each other's number go higher and higher and breaking both of my limiters. Ooh. Hi, Spitfire. How's it going? We are currently trying to figure out how to stop this car from going light speed. Still going faster. Okay, what the hell is the speedometer doing? It's representing a car losing its mind. Okay, I knew that would happen. Okay, so what's happening there is that when I boost and speed at the same time, the checks I have in place to stop it from going beyond those miles per hour break. So now there is nothing holding the car back. So I have to go about this in a different way. I don't think I can tie boost to car speed. Because if I do, it breaks the system. Because I can't be allowed to break the system every time I boost the car. That can't be allowed. Okay, so let's try it without tying it to car speed. But see, what's going to happen here is that it's not going to cap, is it? Oh, it still is going to cap. What? What? Probably shouldn't be activated for extended periods of time. Right, right. So at max, it would probably be like 5-10 seconds, somewhere in there. Something about this logic is escaping me. Why is the car capped at 92 even when it's not tied to car speed? Oh. Oh, I know what it is. Oh, it's... Oh, hold on. Okay, boost car. Multiply by boost acceleration. Boost acceleration by default. What is boost acceleration by default? 300k. And then I have a boost factor of 100 coming in. Oh, now I get it. 400k is subtracting 100 every tick. Now I get it. That's why there's a cap. Hey, Constant, how's it going? I was like, there's no way it should be capping without this, but I'm still getting acceleration. Okay. Sorry, I had to wrap my head around my own logic there. Okay. So the starting acceleration of the car is 300k. I'm constantly subtracting from it 400k minus 100. Oh, wait. Hold on, let me read what this value is. Screw everything else. What is the boost acceleration as I go? You doing good, Constant? Lovely. That's good to hear. Hearing everybody be happy is the whole point, isn't it? So yeah, look at that. Boost acceleration is constantly at one value. I accelerate, and that number never changes. So why is it that over time, the car doesn't go any faster? Let's accelerate at the same time and see what happens. This is going to break, isn't it? I'm boosting and accelerating at the same time. Yeah, I broke it. There is no limiter on this. So tying it to the car speed was not the problem. It was applying the force in general. Damn. It makes sense for the speed, but somehow the boost is just breaking everything. Get some foreboding news. That's not good. Huh. Okay. Let's think about this logically. That car was going fast. Okay, so he reached supersonic speeds. He was faster than a bullet. Dude, there should be a stage in the game where you're literally going as fast as a bullet. We'll call it Magnum. You're literally, your starting speed, boom, you'll be shot out of a gun and you'll have to go that speed for the entire track. That would be so much fun. Oh, man. Anyway, that would be such a fun idea. I want to write that down. Bullet speed races. That would be so crazy. Yeah, so like what is it? The minimum speed for most bullets is like 343 meters per second. What is it even that in miles per hour? Desert bus, but it takes 8 seconds instead of 8 hours. Bullet desert bus. What an idea. People would love that, dude. Oh, man. Okay, so let's figure out why that happened. So, the car is accelerating based on acceleration speed. It's being applied to the car at all times, and acceleration speed is being determined by this calculation here. The beautiful part about this is that the faster the car goes, the smaller the acceleration force gets. Roughly 671 miles per hour. Okay, cool. That's a good number to memorize for 300 meters per second. Okay. That's right. It's like 2.2 something or whatever for the conversion. So this acceleration works by clamping the speed based on the car speed itself. So the faster you go, the less you can accelerate the car until eventually it just stops accelerating. The boost It's just adding a force to the car. The problem we have is that the boost acceleration is not being shortened. It is always at a set value because, well, that's what a boost should be. It should be consistent for a short period of time. However, we don't have a way of limiting that. Oh, excuse me. And here's a scenario that I'm thinking of right now. Let's say you're playing a really good race. You're picking up every boost. Let's say you're in a mode where you have infinite boost. I want to limit the amount of speed you get from the boost to 300 miles per hour. So how do I do that? How do I make it so that the boost stops adding more force around 300 miles per hour? Was I doing that before? By tying it to the speed? Because it feels like I'm breaking the limiter with my boost, because with the boost I'm just going over my acceleration, so it doesn't matter what my acceleration force is. So I'm just going freaking supersonic speed and nothing's ever going to stop it. Firearm muzzle velocities range from approximately 120 meters per second to 370 meters per second in black powder muskets. Oh. 120, okay. To more than 1,200 in modern rifles. To a swift. Yes, 1,200 meters per second. I always knew that as the rifle number because I did like research for like Action Science, which was my YouTube idea. It's like, how much faster are rifles than pistols? And it's like, oh, it's like around 300 meters per second versus 1,200 meters per second. That was like the metric most people gave. And then you have to go more specific if you want to be more specific about the magnum look. High-end bullets can be going thousands of miles per hour. Whew. Yeah, I would love to know like what the fastest bullet ever was. That's not a railgun. I mean, artillery tanks, that counts. Or obviously because they've got more firepower. But what's like the fastest handheld bullet ever gone? Obviously it'd be like a sniper rifle, right? I wonder how fast it's going. 2,700 miles per hour. My God, boggles the mind. Want to be a really fast track. Okay, so let me think. The thing I'm not getting here is when I just accelerate with the boost, it's clamping itself, but I don't actually know why. 220 Swift is the fastest commercial cartridge in the world with a published velocity of 1,422 meters per second. Yo! Over 3,000 miles per hour. Wow. Wow. That's crazy. That's like 5 times a normal bullet. Damn, that's like a mile-long shot capability, right? I guess all bullets are technically mile-long capability, but damn. Well, time to build a race car that beats that. We'll call it the Swift car, the Swifty. No, let's not call it the Swifty. We don't want to mistake it for something else. That's not far off from 1 mile every second. Wow. Imagine that. That's freaking crazy. And that's just in the bullet range of speed, right? Once you start going above that, the factor just becomes that much more insane. Like, I wonder how... Now if you go outside of guns, like... How fast do missiles actually? Well, I know that rockets that go out into space are faster than bullets. I know that for a fact. Because you have to go faster than that to get escape velocity. Excuse me. Okay. I need to figure out why this boost acceleration is capping. Because technically it shouldn't. There's nothing stopping it. There is nothing stopping this acceleration from going up, right? Let's do a test. That's weird. I have this new heart icon in my YouTube meter, or at least in OBS. YouTube updating their emoticons to be more Facebook-ish. Anyway. Okay, so going for just boost. Red is the boost acceleration, which stays the same. And the blue stays the same. So what the flip is happening? Why does the boost stop accelerating the car? Wow. This one I don't understand. Why is the acceleration no longer occurring when I hit 91, 92 miles per hour? Higher caliber weapons, such as mortars and stuff, tend to be slower because the projectiles have a lot more mass. That's a good point. They go farther, but they're probably a lot slower. Yeah. Railguns use magnetic fields created by high electrical currents to accelerate projectile to Mach 6. Whoa. I love the concept of railguns. I've always hoped that would be like the next step in like gun technology. Because the concept is so cool, right? Just accelerate a projectile with electromagnetism so it goes that fast. But the reality of it is that it heats up the projectile so much that it would melt any a device you use to accelerate it. So you need something that could withstand that heat to make that even close to viable. Still, fun experiment. Like, the first time I saw the concept of railguns was actually the movie RACER. That was a really fun use of that. Anyway. Why is it in... This just reinforces how Drake's that one game I had was where I fought a boss that was flying around Mach 7. Mach 7?! Oh, that's too much for D&D. I mean, I guess if you're in, like, space and modern, maybe not. How would that even work on a damn field? That never changes, that never changes. So this must be the thing that is being limited. Is left shift down. Okay, I'm gonna do a test. I'm watching my blueprint right now. Oh, hold on. There we go. Accelerating, accelerating. The car is accelerating. Never stops. We'll have to print this force out, because clearly something is making it smaller, right? So then we'll just turn these off. Wow, I always want to do all these complicated things, and then we get stuck on simple things. But that's just game development for you. I knew it was a good idea to fix the speed before we went to boost. I can barely read that. Dude, it's like not changing at all. Yeah, that number is not shifting whatsoever. It may look like it, but it's just the last decimals. That is so weird. game basically had to set that they could only be attacked with held actions because they were only ever at the arena very briefly. That's fair. So Ricky Think then figured out that the maximum hypotheticals you get in vanilla D&D with 0 homebrews apparently Mach 8. What the flip? How? How would you do that in vanilla D&D? I guess with very specific items. Alright. I really need to clamp this down because if I don't understand what's clamping the boost on this car, then I can't figure out how to work with it. My best guess is that oh, hold on. What if my 0 speed is activating because I don't have acceleration activated? Which means that it thinks the car is trying to go to 0 speed, but I'm boosting it, so the two forces are resisting each other until they reach a medium. Oh, that might be it. That would make so much sense. Absolute zero mode. Because I don't have any of these buttons down. I'm not in the air. Oh, but it only activates when forward speed is below a certain threshold. But just to be fair, we're going to run a test and see if this is activating at all. Okay, if those last two activate at any point while I'm boosting, okay, should activate like right now. Very close to it. Forward speed is very little. There. Okay. So it activated physics, linear velocity, and angular velocity once, so it stops the car. Now I'm just going to boost. Okay, that wasn't it. Damn! I thought that would have been it, too. Okay. Used geometry in a specific janky spell. Fair enough. But it does make sense that there is a counterforce acting on the car. Just gotta figure out what it is. Thought opportune look at what the coldest temperatures observed in the lower 48 states have been. Okay. Special attention to the coldest reading of all. Rogers Pass, Montana. Wait, negative 69? Am I reading that right? Montana? How is Montana the coldest state? Well, it's right there next to Canada, that's why. Out of all the 48 continental United States, I guess it would be one of the upper states that would be the coldest, huh? But still, negative 69 degrees? That's pretty darn crazy. You should add air resistance. Okay, so that's an interesting point to be brought up here. Right now I have nothing acting on them in the air. But air resistance is something that I do want to consider, but only in specific instances. I would think like wind turbines or giraffes or windmills, right? Like classic wind traps in a game. But adding a physical air resistance, I don't know if that's actually a good idea, and I'll prove it to you. When I have the car acting with normal physics, and I have it go over a ramp, you know what it wants to do? It wants to flip, and it wants to turn over and over and over again. The only way to stop that was to say, don't let physics act on that car when it's in the air. Because air resistance, aka drag, is a real drag. So I literally have to control when air resistance works and when it doesn't. So unfortunately, I'd have to say no to that, but I would go for like wind traps. Oh, tanks have air resistance. Everything has air resistance. And tanks have everything resistance. They even have tank resistance. That's what they're made for. That should just be their description. Tanks are everything resistant. Okay, so... Oh, you know what? You guys probably can't read a damn thing. I'm gonna increase this size. Okay. The most resistant thing out of everything. Okay. What is holding that boost back? miles per second. Get out of here. Holy crap. That's too fast for D&D. What would you possibly need that for? We have portals. We have teleportation. Well, people will always find a way to do that crazy stuff. You know what I think I need to do? I think I need to create a hard cap. Because I have a whole metric here called max speed reached. That just doesn't work. Holy crap. Hold on. Negative 128 degrees Fahrenheit is the coldest temp ever recorded. Sounds about right. Absolute zero is like 220 something, if I recall. I can't remember. So, that's probably like the coldest temperature ever recorded on Earth, like in normal temperature. But obviously in labs you could like drop it to even lower. Because obviously in labs you could do like ridiculous stuff. But I imagine negative 128 degrees would be possible in certain parts of the world. Like Antarctica, the Arctic. I think Antarctica's colder than Arctic. I'm not sure. I know one's vastly colder than the other. And then there's Greenland. Everyone who lives there is crazy. Negative 460 degrees Fahrenheit's absolute zero. Okay, okay. That's cool. Man, I am racking my brain. I can't figure out what would be stopping this from activating. Set boost happens... Where does set boost happen? Right here? Okay, yeah. So we set boost after we boost the car. Boost the car doesn't have anything stopping it, except for as left shift down. Which obviously we... isn't helping anything. Boost factor is only 100. Hell, this isn't even affecting the acceleration at all. Is the max speed check somehow holding it in check? Maybe it is. Let's test it. Okay, Okay, so I'm going to do the same boost and see if max speed reach is triggered at any point. No. So the only thing that makes sense is that this is tied to the normal acceleration. I'm going to prove that. The current cap right there is 91. I'm going to change the cap I have for my normal speed, which is... Oh, the lo-fi ended. Huh. Alright, let's switch to Nintendo lo-fi. Oh, and with rain. Cool. So I'm going to prove my theory. We're going to change the set acceleration here that I have very carefully crafted. 46.8. Don't forget that number, please. We're going to set it to 36.8. And the boost is going to change. I guarantee it. This will prove my theory that the boost is tied to our acceleration. It should go beyond 91 if I'm correct. It's not going beyond 91. So it's not tied to the acceleration limiter. Really? 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 Oh, why is it at HD? Come on. Let's be reasonable here. Oh my god. This is embarrassing. Okay, you guys obviously can't see what I'm looking at right now. But I literally had Cookie Clicker open this whole time. Oh my god, I was playing it earlier and I left it on as I set everything up for stream, and it was just going throughout the entire stream. That's hilarious. Oh my god. Oh, I'm never gonna hear the end of that one. Okay, so... I'm gonna go ahead and close some of these because I don't need them anymore. Boxcar, there we go. Wow, my bit rate is just crashing. I hope you guys can still see the stream. So that didn't change it at all, huh? What if I change the cap? Would that change it? And, you know, I curse you all for introducing me to Cookie Clicker. I really do. Like, how dare you? My life is now nothing but cookies. Ugh. Okay, so... normal acceleration, blah, blah, blah. Boost acceleration. No, man, it's just the freaking same. Okay. So this is not what's holding back boost. So what is? I need a genius to tell me. This is dumb. Okay. Set boost. Boost acceleration. Boost acceleration is constantly set to 390,900. Which is constantly being applied as a force to the car. Is there like a built-in factor in Unreal to stop applying forces at a certain speed? Because that wouldn't make any sense. Is left shift down somehow preventing this? No, because we already tried testing that. I'll prove that. I'll just do the test real quick. Yeah, the boosting is happening regardless. You gonna go now? Alright, Spitfire, thanks for stopping by. Thanks for the cool facts. I always appreciate cool facts. I'll see you next time. Add force at location. Get world location. Get forward vector. Maybe it's the forward vector that's changing? No, but because the forward vector is the only thing that changes in this whole equation. There's got to be something holding this car back. I don't know what it is. Front, back. Counter speed. Hold the phone. W button down, false. SW down, false. Touching the ground, true. Close to the ground, true. Oh. Oh my god, I think I found it. Oh my god, I think I found it. Simulate. It's active. And I'm not moving. I hit the boost. Yes! That's it! The force is countering my boost force. Until eventually it grows in magnitude so it matches my boost force. Oh, I finally found it! It makes all the sense in the world, too, because the front back counter speed is supposed to activate at all times except when I'm accelerating, but I never accounted for when I'm boosting. Okay. Thank God we finally found it. Now we can just add another clause. Okay. Branch. We're gonna have to create a Boolean, but that's okay. We're gonna call this is boosting. Huh. That's actually a funny way to put it. Is boosting. Boolean. Compile. Default value is false. It is boosting. And only false. Only go forward if I am not boosting. I should not have a counter speed activating when I'm boosting. So that's just another complication I don't need to work with this. Okay. Now we just have to make it so that when I'm pressing the buttons, I mean, is left shift down is probably the button I could have gone for, but it's better to have Booleans that directly say what you're talking about. So this is actually acceptable. Set is boosting to false. Lovely. It's just that simple. Okay. So now, when I accelerate, nothing should cap it as it is now. That's what I wanted, because now I can control it. Oh, thank God. Okay. That's what we needed. A constant acceleration that I can cap as needed. Lovely. Okay, now we can get to work. Okay, we really need to get rid of max speed check. It's just not working. Okay, front back counter speed. That's working, so we can go ahead and close that. These are returned to normal, so that's fine. Boost car, set boost. Okay. So, we need it to be set to a certain speed, but not go beyond a certain acceleration. So yes, we do need it to be tied to car speed. Because it's going to break regardless, right? Absolute value. We're going to add these together. Right now we're multiplying by 1. We're going to cap them at a certain value. In this case, I'm going to go back to 100K. Tie it all to boost acceleration. And see what we get. Now I should get the slowdown that I was looking for. Hopefully. Okay. Okay. First off, I need to check if this actually provides a cap that I was looking for based on car speed. Probably going to have to be a lot lower than this. Right, okay, so that's another important point. What is car speed when I'm moving 200 miles an hour? I should probably math this out. You know what, I'm just going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to figure out what car speed is. At any given moment. Just so I can compare it to whatever speed I'm at. I need to know. That's a number I should know. Alright, so we're just going to go over 200 and see what that number comes out to. Because I have the calculation in the speedometer and here, but I just need to know for sure in my head what number I should be aiming for. I think it's 100K. It's around there. Nope, I am short. Alright, we're hitting 2,000 miles an hour. And the car speed is still going up, but it's going up painfully slow. 8946, 8947, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52. $56, $57, $58, $59, $60, $61. Kind of like to know what number we hit 201 miles an hour at. Because eventually I'll hit it. So obviously we never will because it's exponentially decreasing. Turn around. When I hit 200, I'm going to look at what that number is, straight up. Hey, Robert's Content, welcome back. Just in time to see me build the greatest racing game ever made. Hopefully. Patent pending. Making us a racerroyale game. Just looking for crunching some numbers right now. Right there. 8922. That's basically what we're aiming for. Okay. So if the number is 8922, roughly speaking, that is the number we should be calculating for. Set boost. By the way, Robert, how's it been going? How are you? Been a good little while. So we want the boost factor to always be positive, that way it's moving forward. Am I making a game? Yes, I am currently developing my own racing game called RACER in Unreal Engine. The basic concept of the game is, what if Rocket League cars were in a racing game, and what if it was a Battle Royale-esque style? Like, almost like a Fall Guys version of a racing game, but more racing and less minigames. You know, and just go with that fun concept and go from there. That's what I'm going for. So hopefully I'll be rich by this time next year. Got a long way to go, but we're just pitting down the speed mechanics right now. Right now we're working on the boost to make sure it's exactly where we want it to be. So the cap we have is 100k for the boost acceleration. So translate that, 8922 is the max speed at 200. So let's actually make a metric for that. Worksheet. 8922, 200, do some math. So for every unit of Unreal Engine, every 44.6 units of car speed in the engine translates to 1 mile per hour by calculation. Okay, I can deal with that. Thank you, Unreal Engine, for saving my content. I love how the game capture automatically defaults to every single window that comes up, even the tiny ones. Unreal Engine was not built for OBS. Anyway. So right now, I need the boost to stop activating once I've hit an additional 100 miles per hour. So the number I'm looking for is 4461 out of car speed. So that's the cap I'm basically operating on. The problem is the acceleration force and the car speed are not the same number. So instead, I need to make it a... So the number I hit at 4461 hits whatever cap I put in. So in this case, let's say the cap is 100k. And the boost factor is 100. Car speed is 4461. I need that to equal to 100k. So let's do the math. 4461 plus 100. 100k divided by that. 21.93. Okay, so that should be the number that gives me the cap I'm looking for. Let's see if my math is right. My instinct is that it's way too high. Yeah, see, I'm not accelerating at all. But let's see if the cap is correct, because we can always raise the acceleration without changing the cap. Okay. Because we're basically aiming for 100 miles per hour of boost. And all we want is for it to cap at 100. We don't need it to necessarily reach that very slowly, which is what's happening here. But I think my math is working. It's just going up so slowly that it just doesn't feel like it. And right now, this is just the boost mechanic. This is not the car accelerating. It's just me holding down the rocket car effect, for anyone who's wondering. So, realistically, this is probably going to cap at 100 if I give it, like, 30 minutes to accelerate. So I'm going to have to raise that number by a bit. And I'm going to need to raise the initial acceleration vastly. Or raise the curve. Let me... The initial boost is garbage, right? So if I hit boost, that's nothing. That's not a boost. Because the initial value of the acceleration comes out to about... Can turn off this print string. 97 to start. Oh, that's actually pretty low. Yeah, no wonder it's slow. Yeah, that's too low to start. I've got to make it bigger. So, these real quick. Back to set boost. We want to... We want to raise the cap. Yeah. So same math, 300k divided by 4561, 65.78. Roughly. So that'll give me a really fast acceleration and should still cap at 100 miles per hour. Theoretically. Yeah, see, I'm hovering around 300k for the boost right now. That's pretty solid. Oh, but that's still not... I don't like that. Oh, and we have a problem. Once the car goes over that speed, it's not going to boost anymore. I set it too low. Okay. Again, the logic. This is difficult logic because I need several things to happen. I need the boost to be able to happen at any point of a car's acceleration, whether it's at 0 or 200 miles per hour. It needs to boost the same speed, whether it's at 0 or at 200 miles per hour. But it needs to cap at an extra 100 miles per hour for the car. It can't go any further. So that's the problem with tying it to the car speed. Because the car speed is variable, which means that its cap is always going to change. Blast. Okay. Let me think about the logic. If I'm at 0, the car speed is 0. The cap is 300k either way. $300k with this number, with this amount of multiplication, is 100 miles per hour. But if I raise it to 300, then the boost theoretically could get me to 300 miles per hour even from rest, which should not happen. Or is that acceptable? I don't need... Let me do some math. 300... 13,383 would be the number we're aiming for. 13,383 plus 100. then have 300k divided by that number, 22.25. Okay, let's experiment. Let's see what happens if I give it a 300 mile per hour cap and accelerate from 0. What happens? Well, then it just accelerates too fast. It's basically just like another acceleration on top of that. It's basically just driving the car normally, except faster. But it will not go above 300 miles per hour. It can't. Now, obviously, we'll have to tweak it because it's going to slow down significantly as it approaches 300. If I were to accelerate my car and boost at the same time, see, that's the problem. This is under the circumstances, I'm assuming, that you have continuous boost. Let's say you're in a game mode where you have unlimited boost power. Should a boost get you to max speed without acceleration at all? Or should it just give a flat 100 miles per hour boost to whatever you're at? Technically speaking, the way I have it right now, it's actually pretty functional. It won't go beyond the cap I've set for it. Let me think about realist. Let's think about game modes. Somebody is in a race with another person. They've turned on infinite boost. One person accelerates and boosts. The other person just boosts. What happens? Let's test that. I'll need to see the timer for this. Whoa, what? Oh, for the love of... Unreal Engine being a real pain. Okay, you can see the timer. Oh, cool. Alright, so at 10 seconds we will do boosting and acceleration. Damn! Alright, we're going to see how long it takes to get to 200 miles an hour. 10 seconds. It took 10 seconds to get there. Now let's see how long it takes to reach 250. 43 seconds? So 32 seconds. Alright, now we repeat the experiment with boost only. Starting at 10. How long does it take to reach 200 miles an hour? Significantly slower. 29 seconds. So 19 seconds from boost alone. How long to reach 250? Seconds. So it took a good 10 seconds longer for the boost to do both. Now let's do just acceleration, no boost. do at least 200. We won't be able to reach 250. Theoretically. Here's another worry I have. What if I maxed out at 200 miles per hour, then I hit the boost and nothing happens? Six seconds. So about 36 seconds to reach 200. Alright, now I'm going to hit the boost. Look at that. Look how stunted that boost was. I barely gained an extra miles per hour. And that's just because it's not capped at 300. Tying it to car speed is such a bad idea. But I don't know how else to limit it. Because it's gotta stop once it hits a certain threshold. And the only threshold I can think of is car speed. What other threshold could we use? We could say while we have it clicked down, a timer goes, and then eventually it runs out. I mean, that's just the boost mechanic. I'm trying to... That mechanic comes later. Right now, I'm just trying to figure out how do I limit the speed of the boost so that it doesn't go beyond a certain threshold and does not change how much speed you gain based on your speed. Because here's a theoretical situation. A person at 100 miles per hour, a person at 150 miles per hour, and a person at 200 miles per hour all activate their boost at the same time. They should each get the same boost. They should not get lower boosts because of their differing speeds. So that's the problem here. We can't have boosts tied to car speed. Because each one of those cars would get a different boost. The faster car would get a slower boost. The mid car would get a bigger one than that. And the slowest car would get the biggest boost. And then the metric between them would be the same. The distance would be closed between the cars if they all activated their boost at the same times. And that's not what should happen. You should only be able to close the distance between the cars if one is activating a boost and the other is not. Okay, so we have, straight up, we just have to remove this. It's not going to work. We have to find a different threshold and a different way to limit this before we start adding the percentage multiplier. Let's see. Again, we could just detect the car speed and say, once you've hit the speed, stop applying force. But okay, fresh idea. Once we start boosting, we grab a variable. This is how fast you were going when boost was activated. Boost will stop activating once you've reached this speed. That's dumb. Because what if you slow down during this boost or you hit a wall? Will the boost just keep activating? Boost should stop activating once it's hit 300 miles per hour. That is a limitation that should exist. And the only way to determine that is with car speed. Which means these do have to be here? Let's see. Okay, let's logic this out. Right now, it's tied to the rate at which the acceleration changes. But if we just tie the car speed to the cap, that's what I need. So how can I tie the car speed to the cap? The boost acceleration caps when the amount that it's being slowed down by matches the speed that is being applied to it. That's its equilibrium. Finding that number is hard. The car speed should never go beyond 13,383. This setup technically gets to that number. We also need to limit how much it boosts from the back end. Maybe I'm making this too difficult. No, I was right before. The rate at which the boost occurs cannot be tied to speed. This is hard. I just keep repeating the same damn things. Alright, I'm gonna have to experiment. So right now, the boost acceleration, let's leave that alone. Let's say that's always 300k. Never changes. The acceleration is always the same. That's what we want. So what we need to do is to stop applying the boost at certain thresholds. So we need to work with this function. Well, how do we do that? We need to detect the car's speed do a branch, and we're going to do a check. We're going to grab car speed, and we're going to check to see if it's greater than, equal to, or greater than. What number was it? 3383? Cool. So, sounds like Mother music. Probably is. Anyway, so if car speed is greater than or equal to then don't apply force. Otherwise, accelerate as normal. Let's test to see if this works. So basically, it'll allow me to boost this car so long as my speed is below a certain number. Basically, I'll be able to accelerate as normal, same consistent acceleration until I hit 300 miles per hour. Then it should stop accelerating. Boom. There it is. I cannot go beyond 300. Not even if I'm accelerating with my car. Cool. That's what I want. So first criteria, matched. Boost will not push this car beyond 300 miles per hour. I'll probably need to create a caveat for if I'm in gravity. But other than that, Cool. Second threshold. We need to make it so that the acceleration only adds 100 miles per hour based on whatever speed you're at. I don't think that's feasible, now that I think about it, because the way I'm applying this is through a force, right? And the only way to determine to only add 100 miles per hour worth is to determine what the speed is at the beginning and the end of your boost, which is ludicrous. You could never do that. So I guess it really is just a boosting power until you hit 300. Wow, I honestly don't think you can make it any... I don't think you could make it any simpler than that. Alright, let's test this again. We're going to accelerate as normal to 200. And I'm going to press at a random time. And I should stop at 300 miles per hour. It should not let me go any further than that. Yes! Okay. Yes! Yes, queen. Okay. And if I let go of boost, my car will slow down. Okay. So I'll still have residual speed. I wonder if I should slow the car down a little bit post-boost. We'll probably lose that residual speed anyway. So if I let go and then try to get that speed back, I won't go over 200 miles per hour, because that is the car's speed limit. Yes, Soup, I think it has worked. Yes! Finally. Finally, we have it. Okay. So now the only thing we have to determine is the boost a reasonable speed? It should be faster than normal acceleration. This is boost. And it's not slowing down, so I think that's what's going to give it an edge in normal acceleration. I think that's still fair. Because if you're doing it from 0, it's going to struggle a little bit. But honestly, yeah, I think that's good to go. I think we have a boost mechanic. Well, we have a boost. Now we need to create the actual mechanic for boost fuel. Now we actually need to make that mechanic. Okay, so for that, we'll need to create a variable and start implementing. Yay, we're finally making progress. Okay. Question is, does boost increase your acceleration? Because that also matters for boost power. Yes, it does. So I have it so that the boost is the same increase in acceleration for a car no matter what speed you're going at. So let's say a car at 100 miles per hour, 0 miles per hour, and 200 miles per hour all activate their boost at the same time. They are gaining the same amount of speed no matter how fast they're initially going. So the boost itself will give the same boost across the board. And it will accelerate the car, but it will not push the car beyond 300 miles per hour no matter where you are. So theoretically, the 0 car can boost for longer than the 200 mile per hour car, because the 200 car is going to hit that cap faster. So the distance between these 3 cars will remain the same, but eventually the 0 car would catch up because 200 will reach the cap eventually. But the increase in acceleration is the same across the board. So that should be evened out now. Because now that it's no longer tied to speed, it shouldn't be variable, which is good. Alright, now let's create us... let's call it... Boost percentage. Boost fuel percentage. gloat. What I meant is, would a car that's accelerating normally and boosting go from 0 to 200 faster than one that's not boosting? Oh! I see what you mean. Let's test that. I think I did this earlier because I was comparing the two, but I'm pretty sure that boosting is faster than normal car acceleration, because car acceleration slows down over time, whereas boosting does not. That's linear until it hits 300. So let's test the time. At 25, I will just boost. Boom. How long does it take me to reach 200 miles per hour? And time, 35 seconds. So it took 10 seconds boosting to reach 200 miles per hour. That is way faster than acceleration. Alright, now we're just going to do acceleration starting at 10. Go. So it's going to take like 32 seconds to reach 200 miles per hour. Because they add to each other, and thankfully they're different accelerations, and naturally the car slows down as it gets closer to 200. It got to 180s, 190s pretty fast, but 200 will take, boom, 36 seconds. So 10 seconds, 36 seconds, and now we'll do both. Just to see how much faster that go. Start at 10. 8, 9, 10. Both, we get to 6 seconds. 6 seconds with both. Okay, good. That is what it should. That should function well. So technically, its acceleration is a third faster on average. Yeah. It's probably closer to a half because the acceleration is about the same, but again, it gets slower over time. So, all right, there we go. All right, boost percentage. Default will be, screw it, 100. Okay. That was a good sanity check. Indeed, it was. Yeah, let's just have a boost that's like not as effective as driving. Okay, so we're gonna have to create another number on our speedometer to keep track of our fuel. Okay. It's been a while since I've edited the speedometer. Here we go. We're going to add... I'm going to add just a text. How do I add? Oh, here we go. Text. We're going to call this boost number. Text. Okay, we'll just keep it up here for now. That's great. We'll put it lower. Okay, let's font. Sticking with 8-bit operator for now. 100% to start. Size. Let's see, what is 100%? About right, okay. We'll keep it at that size for now. Okay. So we're gonna have to be tricky with with the percentage because we're going to have to format it to always display 1 decimal point. Do you think we need the decimal point for fuel? Like 95.6? Do you think that's even necessary? Or just keep it to like 95? I think for now I'll do it without the decimal point. I don't think I need to be that specific. Because, you know, 0.5 versus 0.4, I don't know if that would be helpful information for the driver. Like, oh yeah, you have 0.1% more fuel. Like, great, what does that mean? What does that equal? Okay, so for our speedometer, every tick we are casting to the boxcar. We are running the function getVelocity. And we are setting the transformation angle for needle. Alright, so now we're going to go ahead and do a new function. We're going to call set boost percentage. Oh. Both will go to that. Right? Yeah. I'll always fire off. I should probably have a branch feature for this, but we'll break that down later. Okay, so now here, in a similar fashion to getVelocity, we need to cast to BB boxcar. I'll actually copy both of these so that we're pulling information from our car. Then we're going to get the variable from BB boxcar, which will be boost percentage. I had an idea for how the boost would work. 1% of boost is equal to 0.1 second of boosting, and there's pickups or whatever you're going to implement that give some amount of boost. Okay, I like that. Keep it easy to understand. 1% is 0.1 seconds. So 100 boost would be 10 seconds of boost. Very easy to I like that. I like that a lot. Because the easier it is to understand, the more people will go for it. I like that. Okay. And 10 seconds of boost is more than enough to get you to 300 if you're at 200 or however. So that's perfect. And then the boost pickups will recover... I guess we could have different size of boost pickups, but at the very least 5% would be a good start. I guess it depends on the frequency. But yes, I like that. Let's do that. Okay, so first thing we need to set the text. Where did I do that? Yes. Here. Oh, I don't need this. I can remove that. So format the text here. Okay. So whatever we come out with, we're going to put as percentage. We're going to format this as boost. We want 1 digit, no fractional digits. Rounding mode. Yeah, half to even. And velocity was based on the return value. Cool. And then return node. Target is speedometer. BP. Oh, hold on. Oh, I did this wrong. Hold on. I need to... How do I create a function for that again? Oh, I have to set it to a function. Yes, okay. compile? Is it not detecting it? Hold on. Oh, I get it. Okay, so it's a binding is different from a function. That was my mistake. Okay. So just. Oh, but I can't cast to the boxcar in a binding. So I'll need to do the function set boost percentage here, and the value that comes out turn node. I have to. There it is. Outputs. Set it as a float, please. There, we'll call that boost. There we go. Okay, so we will return that. And these instead will go to our binding. There we go. Now we got a system. Boost here, format here, and value here. Cool. I think we're set. Compile that. Make sure that's nice and neat. Okay, I think we got it. Another question. What stream are you most looking forward to this week? Good question. Well, it's always nice to work in Racer Royale. But in terms of actual game... Ooh, that's a good question. Because Terraria... Well, we're going to give it another shot at the Wall of Flesh. But, you know, been there, done that. I am making good progress with Pokemon. I'm looking forward to branching out to water. Subnautica, I'm getting more spooked than I am excited. Because, man, every range I went into last time, I was getting warned, no, don't go there, don't go! And that really freaked me out. So I guess Pokemon right now is my most excitable stream. Just because I'm having such a blast with it. Second, I'm not going to lie, second is game development right now for Racer Royale. Because I have so much fun working on this stuff, and this is my eventual goal, right? Then Subnautica, then Terraria, then podcasts. On a typo? God dang it, you're always calling me out on my typos. Sunflowers. Ah, you! Sunflowers. Yep, sure did. Fix that. God, you would think I would notice when Discord underlines red stuff. To be fair, half the stuff that they highlight isn't technically a misprint, so... Okay, anyway. That should do it. Let's see if it worked. 100%. Okay, it's displaying correctly. So now we need a function that will lower it based on boost. Or I guess I should do that if I'm boosting. How should I... Yeah, if this is activating, the boost should be going down. So we will set boost percentage to itself minus 0.1? Ooh, hold on. This has got to be based off of time. And this is triggering every tick. So I can't do it here. I've got to do it in its own function. Interesting. So how do I tie it to time? I have to do it via delta time. I think. I think so. I don't want to do it every tick. I might have to, though. Because the only time I want it to lower is when the boost is being activated. So yeah, it has to be here. So I have to get clever and say to lower this only through delta time, which thankfully I have a variable for. So first let's get boost percentage. And then get delta time. No, the actual variable, delta time. I have one. Maybe delta seconds? Yes, yes. Cool, okay. So for every 0.1 delta seconds, I need boost percentage to go down by 1. But to do that, I'll need to set a gap between delta seconds. So I'll need another variable called starting delta time. Ooh boy, this is going to get messy quick. I don't see how else I'm going to do this. Call it start boost delta seconds and end boost delta seconds. Okay. Compile. So the first thing we'll need to do is set start boost delta seconds to whatever delta seconds is currently at. Cool. Then this is going to happen every tick. When left shift is down, when it stops boosting. No, that's not right. Does it need to be in its own function? Milliseconds. Turns the time span that represents the specified number of milliseconds. No. No. Because I want to be exact with this. Because I could just say lower every tick. But then it would have to be tempered by delta sec. Maybe I'm just making this harder than it should be. It'll be boost percentage minus delta seconds times 1. Times 10? Times 1. Times 0.1? I honestly don't know. Alright, let's just see where that gets us. Okay. Boost. Clearly nowhere. Alright, we also need to print what boost percentage actually is. And while we're at it, let's print delta seconds so we'll know what we're dealing with. Make you green. I want this boost mechanic working by the end of session today. Okay. And boosting. So it is going down. It's just not going down very fast. Okay. So let's make it 1. What is delta seconds as I click? Delta seconds is coming out as 0.0 something. So it's got to be multiplied by 10. Also, my initial guess was right. Okay. So I want it to go down by 1 every second. Boom. Every 0.1 seconds. Sorry. Do. Hey, that was, I think that was dead on. It took 10 seconds to go through the whole fuel. One more time. Starting at 10, it should end at 20. $19.20. Boom. I think that's perfect. Okay. So yeah, it was okay. It was easier than I thought. It was just apply for delta seconds, multiply by 10, and then just lower it. Beautiful. Okay, so now we use that as our limiter. Cool. So we'll do another check here. Get boost percentage. We're going to check if it's greater than or equal to 0. No, it's got to be greater than 0. If it's greater than 0, then you can add the force. That is true. If it's not greater than 0, or if it's equal to 0 or lower, don't activate. So hopefully This will mean that it'll never go negative, but I'll probably have to clamp it to make sure. Okay. And stop boosting at 0. There's the negative, all right. It stopped boosting. Can't boost, period. Good, good, okay. Yeah, we'll definitely want to clamp that value. Between 100 and 0, so it can't go negative. Otherwise, yeah. Come on, OBS, keep up. Boom. 0. Alright, easy. Easy mechanic. And now we finally get to implement our first power pickup. So we'll need to add an asset. Excuse me. Oh. We're going to add another folder. We're going to call this boost. Well, let's call it power-ups for now. Pickups? Power-ups. Cool. And within this, we are going to add spheres. Spheres will do. Good old spheres. To rename this as boost pickup. Doesn't want to move. What the? I see. It's locked to the grid. Blueprints. A new folder. Power-ups. New blueprint class. Actor. Boost power up. Cool. Oh, we'll add a sphere. Have it so it's floating above the ground. No particular color, I suppose. Let's make him yellow, round. Do I have a yellow one yet? Yes. Or I guess that's green, but whatever. Okay. So. We will make you... National Park. Yeah, I'm listening to Nintendo Lo-Fi. Okay, so probably add some particles to this, but this will do for now. Probably want to make it smaller. Don't want it terribly big. Well, maybe we could, yeah, floating off the ground. We'll see. We'll see how the size works. And then using a game I used to play, which is now gone. Oh, which game was it? I don't recognize it. My guess is Mother or Earthbound. One series I never did get to play as a kid. Roblox game, Pokemon, Brick Bronze. I see. I see. Pokemon. Makes sense. Oh, there goes that song. Okay, so this shall not be a physics actor, but it does need to have collision. It should not block. Be no collision. And this is where we create our first on collision event, or I guess on hit. Wonder if this still works. Let's test it out. Round. Ramp 2. Yep, still works. Okay. So that was a dumb move. Instead, we're going to go ahead and place in our boost power-up. Why does it feel below the ground? Bothering the hell out of me. Oh, this window is also bothering the hell out of me. This fruit fly is pissing me off too. At the level of an actual Pokemon game. Yeah, I imagine there are quite a few Roblox games that were up to snuff, as it were. Oh, it's because it's snapping to the grid. Pretty small. Yeah, bigger. Still not big enough. too big though. How about no snapping? Thank you. Thank you. Okay. So that's a pretty big power-up. Let's see how it goes in relation to the size of the car. Whoa, okay. It's a little big. I want it smaller. Go about half that size. Still too far off the ground, but that's about the size we're looking for. Yeah. Should be no bigger than the car itself. Maybe a little bigger in certain instances. Okay. So we'll put it down on the ground. Right now it's not colliding, but is it generating a hit event? No. So we don't want it to simulate physics, but we do want to generate a hit event. See if that actually worked. Oh, it didn't. Generate overlap events. Oh, I see. So it's still doing an overlap event. I'm just not checking for that. Okay, so on overlap, is that a thing it checks for? It does. Okay, so when it begins an overlap, we need to do a check. I'm going to do a branch. This is probably going to come up a lot. No, not a branch, what's it called? Sequence. Yeah. I want to create a sequence of events to check for several different overlaps. So first we're going to check and do a branch. We're going to check get actor name. Get owner. No. Not transformation, not variable. Wid? No, that's too complicated. It's gotta be... parent component? Is... Oh. crap. I don't know how to do collisions or overlap checks. God dang it. Okay. This is a pretty basic one, too. Crap. Screw it. I don't want to look this up. Unreal Engine. Check for actor on overlap. Oh, ow. Okay. Might have to do this in my off time. Unreal Engine. Yeah, I think I will. It's a whole different system I'll have to work with. Which is fair. That could be the focus of tomorrow's. What can I do in the meantime? Basically today was all about that boost. So, is there any other limitation to the boost? Don't think so. God, that screen is just awful. There we go. You can add a mechanic for boost to automatically regen. We could do that. We'll have to call it a setting. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. Well, our first setting. How fun. Okay, yeah, let's do that. So, we'll have to create a Boolean. Boost regen activated. Boolean. And that will be in a new category called settings. Yeah. We'll go to here. And then we only want boost to regen if this is not active. So if left shift is down, we'll create another branch and check to see if this is true. We'll have all of these kind of branch there in their alternate paths. It's not the prettiest thing, but it'll work. Okay. So, when regen is true, we will set boost percentage based on same values here. Except instead of adding or subtracting, we will be adding. That should do it. So this will only be active when we have a certain setting activated. And its default, let's make it true, just for testing purposes. Should never go above 100. Good. Not happening while I'm boosting. Good. I let go, and it refills back up. Awesome. We could probably do... We could probably be even more fancy with it and say the increase that it goes up by will be another variable, which we'll call boost regen factor, which will be a float. And right now its factor is 1. To make it slow? Yeah. Slower the better. Okay. So let's make it 100 based on delta time. We want it based on time. We want the regen to be fast. But we also want the regen to be editable as one of the settings. How fast should the regen come back, for instance? That's a future thing. It's not really that important. But it is something we will use in the future for fun. Whew, okay. We'll also eliminate these two because we don't need them anymore. Now we need to categorize these. Delta seconds should go into... What's reference? Oh yeah, those are components. I'd say that's a reference. Yeah. Because we have to reference back to the time. They don't all need to be arrays. Max speed vector should be vehicle positional information. Or is it stats? Where do we use this? Do we use it at all? I don't think it's used at all. Oh, here we go. It's never used. And delete it. Boost acceleration. That is a stat. Is left shift down. That is input info. Boost factor. That is a stat. Is boosting. Is a Boolean. And boost percentage is a stat. Lovely. The more organized we are, the better things are. Cool. Alright, I got 9 minutes left. What else can we do in this time? Let's see. I think I need to remove max speed reached. The problem is I use it all over the place. Or maybe I don't. Hold on. Acceleration reverse. Nothing's triggering this, so this is useless. This, on the other hand, I'm having it fire off regardless. So this is a useless check. Is it false? Yeah. This one's not getting utilized at all. What on earth is happening here? Just cleaning up my variables here. So this is when what am I checking here? If my front two are not touching the ground, but my back two are, we then check to see if I'm touching the back. Man, when on earth does this ever trigger? I don't know if it ever does. Same with this one. Holy crap. But I created these checks for a reason, and the max speed reached function as a whole is pretty useless now. But I'd still like to know if these ever fire off, because there was a purpose to these, and now I just gotta figure out what they are. So basically, I am checking to see if my front two are not touching the ground. So we're over a cliff, but the back two are still on the front. I am then making a check to see if my bumper component, surface impact normal, is within 0.0001 of the back suspension vector, which is my two suspension components combined into one. So, if the surface that I'm on is basically parallel to my two suspensions pointing up and down, true or false, then I'm adding a force in a very specific direction. If it is false, which means that my car is leaning over the cliff, I'm assuming, I am telling the car, if I accelerate, to move based on acceleration speed and forward force forward or backward, depending on whatever I choose. Same acceleration as usual. Okay. But if max speed is reached, then that speed must be reversed and won't let me accelerate. In what instance would I ever be in that situation? And then let's say I am parallel. The two are exactly the same. What am I telling it to do here? I'm telling it to accelerate forward. I'm telling it to do the exact same thing. Wait, what's the difference between these two? Forward vector times force times acceleration speed. Get world location. Okay, what's different here? Oh, I'm multiplying not the actor forward vector, but I'm projecting the vector on the plane I'm on. That I actually get. Because if I'm trying to move forward, I'm trying to move forward on the plane that I'm currently touching with my back suspensions. Because if my back wheels are touching something and I'm over the cliff, I want my forward distance to be based on that, not on the surface I'm touching down below. Theoretically. Let's see if we can even trigger this situation, because it is so specific. I don't know if I can even trigger this one anymore, because I've changed the actual speed and mechanics of the car so much. Okay. So I'm going to go over the cliff. Right there. It triggered. Absolutely triggered. Right now, the bottom part of this blueprint is triggering. But it's not going beyond max speed reached. Because in what situation would I be doing max speed reached when I'm on a cliff like this? This doesn't even make any sense. What? What was I thinking? How would I ever be in a max speed reach situation on a cliff like this? This doesn't even make any sense. Hold on, let me view. Okay, let's do that again. Because I understand creating the need to go over the gaps. The mechanics is perfect. What I'm trying to understand is why my past self felt the need to add a max speed reached clause in such a situation. And my car is really speedy. Hard to see both at once. And that top one never activates. Never. Ooh, that was weird. Because the only scenario in which that would activate is that only the back suspensions are touching the ground. And the angle was up. I think it's the reverse direction. Like if I try to go onto this wall here, which is Vanta Black for some reason, I think that's what it's trying to do. But something else is going horribly wrong here. What on earth is happening to this car? The flip component did not like that one bit. Holy crap. Alright, let's do something where I can actually see the damn surface. Okay. Like this. Like if I try to climb up a wall... I shouldn't be able to do this! What is this? The bottom part's activating. Wow. I'm looking at it and I just don't see a purpose for these max speed checks anymore. I won't delete it entirely, because I feel like there's something maybe this still serves a purpose for. But I'm just not gonna... I'm gonna remove this from my function list because I just don't think it's doing anything anymore. Because the max speed originally was supposed to limit my acceleration based on the speed of thy car. The problem is that I found a superior method of doing that. So here we are. Also, I need to be more consistent as to how I'm separating out these functions. Right now it's kind of random. But whatever. Alright, I'm going to compile everything. I'm going to save everything. And that, ladies and gentlemen, will be the last thing we do for today. I'd say that was a fruitful 3 hours. Honestly, we managed to actually create our fully functioning boost mechanic. The speed is spot on. It's still working while I'm boosting. Regen is activated if I so choose. Oh, one last thing to check. Let's fly through the air. And let's see if I can boost in a certain direction. I should be able to, if this worked the way I planned. So I'm in the air, pointing that way, and I'm boosting. Boom! I landed far to the left of the ramp. Oh, but I just realized something. It's not powerful enough to go airborne. Because gravity is still activating on it. There we go. Oh, I'm hovering! I'm hovering! Okay. So that shows that the acceleration of the boost is not high enough. So I'll have to fix that. Because the whole idea of a boost is that you're launching your car off the ground. Right? That's the whole idea of a Rocket League boost. It's like you're an actual rocket car. But we'll deal with that next time. I have to look up how to do collectibles to do the whole power pickup thing. I actually haven't done that in a long time, so I'll just do that in my off time. But that'll be all for today's stream, so I thank you all for listening on, lurking on, giving your advice, all that good stuff. We will pick this up tomorrow. We'll continue with our boost mechanic and maybe throw a couple more items our way. We'll just go from there, build some boost pads, hopefully some magnet pads, and then we'll just go from there. Thank you all so much. I hope you had a great day. And as always, enjoy yourselves. Good night.